same way with the regulatory issues. We need to set policy in place that says whatever it takes to get us to be able to compete with and name the country in the nuclear issue. France, for instance. We will mandate that the bureaucrats responsible for it and the agency head, whatever it takes to get to parity. So at the very least we have an equal playing field with France in producing power. We do it. And on the budget we say to the Secretary of Education, Transportation, Energy, whatever else, we say you are mandated to cut the budget by 5% across the board, except in the areas of defense. Across the board budget cuts. I don't care how you do it, but it's got to be true and legitimate, quantifiable, then come back to the table and be a pat on the back. That takes the politics out of it. And if I say to the bureaucrat in energy and environment, we have to be parity with France or any other country that we're competing with for energy in order to produce the permitting process in a feasible fashion quickly to get our nuclear power plants online. That's what has to do. I think that's the only approach that takes the politics out of it.
You know, you're saying about lead that comes in from China all the time. Instead of continuously recalling them, I think every time that Heiko or the other companies that send it out, they should be penalized for every piece of product that comes across that border with lead in it. Because you can give a refund, but they keep going back there because it's cheaper labor. They're not losing out. We're the only ones that lose out. Some child gets sick or something else happens. We don't have we have free trade. We don't have equal trade. And I think if we start penalizing the companies that are sending everything over to have it done somewhere else, tax them. You send it over, when it comes back, you got another tax coming back into this country. Make it better for us because they're making all the profits, taking out big bonus checks. But the price doesn't go down for the citizens that have to buy this stuff. And it shouldn't be equal trade, or it should be fair trade. It should be equal trade. What goes to your country comes, you know, if we have to send $1 million over, you have to send. You know, it should be both ways.
Yeah, I don't.
It's all coming to us. Nothing's going to them.
I co-sponsored legislation when I was in Congress to set up a independent trade prosecutor. We don't have that. And so we keep to our trade agreements. But China or Mexico with the sugar agreement hasn't kept to it since day one. And who's responsible for the process of prosecuting and saying this was the agreement you signed. On the basis of that, we are prosecuting you for violation. The same thing would go with that penalties that we give to people who participate in violating our agreements. Yes, sir.
When you get reelected, how long is it going to take for you and all the rest of them to undo all these terrible things they've done?
As long as it takes. As long as it takes. And that's what we did in Michigan. And it took us 4 years to turn the state around, and it turned around strongly. But then it took just a matter of a few years to turn it back the other way when they did the same stuff. Tax and spend, tax and spend. It has to come together. To destroy economy, you have to spend and tax. We saw with Bush, he cut taxes, and it kept the economy going. But if he'd have cut spending too, wow! I probably wouldn't have been in office ever. There wouldn't have been a need for me to run, let alone rerun. Same thing happened in Michigan. Got it out of its doldrums, grew rapidly, and they tax and spend. So if you hear a politician say, I'll vote to cut taxes, I've signed a no tax pledge many times. I've never voted for a tax increase in 26 years, not 26, and 18 years of elected service. Never. Or as a taxpayer. But bottom line is, you can't just cut taxes because that grows the economy. People spend more of it because they have more of it. And then the government gets all this largesse, and what do I do with it? They spend it. So you got to cut spending.